Good evening and welcome to Newsbite. I'm Roxanna Williams and making the headlines this week. New master of the RMS tells us about his promotion. South African company bidding for air service to St Helena. We talk to the sea rescue team about their recent training. Island endemic found to glow under UV light. Tall ship Sorlandet visits St Helena again. And we have your usual sports roundup. On the 9th of January, St Helena Line announced that St Helenian Adam Williams, Chief Officer on the RMS St Helena, would be promoted to Master of the ship. On the last call of the RMS, he travelled as extra captain, but has now taken on the role as captain. SAMS reporter Donna Crowe went on board to speak to Adam about his promotion.
So first of all, Adam, I think we all at SAMS would like to congratulate you on your achievement.
Thank you.
But can you tell us what inspired you to start your career on the RMS St Helena?
I think to start my career, well, I suppose being a young kid from Jamestown, you're always down at the harbour. My father was a harbour master and a customs official. So for many years we were on and off yachts and ships that came in the harbour. Later on, my brother became a marine engineer, and he's quite successful in the industry as well now. He's a superintendent. As I said, my father was in the harbour, and I think it's just a family thing where you sort of were pushed to try and do the best you can, and that's all you can ask of anybody, really.
Okay. Now, you gained your master's certificate in December 2009, which means you could have left the RMS, go on board another vessel. Why did you stick with the RMS St Helena?
I think one of the things definitely is that once you've got the grip of the ship, once the ship's gripped you, then you sort of you're kind of locked in. It's like it's like a charm. Also, I get to go abroad, but I still get to come home and see my family and friends. And it's while it's always been in the back of my mind, why don't I move on and do something different? Likewise, it hasn't been a real reason to have to leave. So I'm quite happy. I've got 19 years here now. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you were given the opportunity to become captain. What was your first impressions and how did you feel?
I think for anybody it's a kind of daunting but same time exciting time, because while you sort of know the processes, you've trained for that. I think at the same time taking on that responsibility where when you're at sea you're the one that's going to answer for everything. That can be quite daunting. Sadly, under the circumstances that we've been presented now, it's not the best of circumstances. But the way I feel is that it's a case of carrying on the baton. The ship must go on, the show must go on, and I'm sure Captain Young would have been proud to hand over the baton at this time.
Okay. And when do you start your post as captain?
Right now I'm on as extra captain to Captain Greentree. So Captain Greentree right now is the master of the ship. From Ascension, then I'll take over as master, and Captain Greentree will be the extra master on board.
Okay. And what would you like to achieve as captain?
I think, given the circumstances of the ship and the sort of with the ship possibly going offline within the next year or so. At the moment we don't really know. But one of the things that I see it as is I'm not here to change anything. I'm not here to make any big changes. At the end of the day, the way I see it is to carry the baton until the end, to make sure that the standards are kept, and to make sure that the ship runs efficiently and safely.
And at the moment it is being said that the RMS will be operating until February 2018. How do you feel about this?
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the ship. I suppose if you look at it in two ways, I don't have a problem with the ship going offline for an airport. I think I've had a long think about this, and I think it's time St Helena joins the jet age. It will help for sort of building revenue with the island. I'm sure it's going to help very much with this. So I don't really have a problem with the ship going offline eventually to make way for the airport, because there will be backup processes. There will be another cargo ship coming in to serve the island. It's a difficult one.
Okay. What are your plans when the RMS does go flying?
when is the RMS going offline? That's the other question. No, I don't really have any plans at the moment. Right now, I just need to focus on my role at hand, my job at hand, and then we'll take it from there.
Airlink, a South African regional airline, have announced that they are submitting a bid to provide direct flights to St Helena Airport. This announcement comes 2 days after Airlink announced that they will be replacing its current fleet of Avro planes with several Embraer E-jets, including the ERJ-140 aircraft. These aircraft are known for their long range and ability to operate at higher altitude airports. With their extended range and higher passenger capacity, the ERJ-140 is the plane most likely to be used for a potential St Helena service. Embraer Commercial Aviation flew a successful test flight to St Helena Airport in November of last year using their ERJ-190-100 jet aircraft. The plane was flown by pilots from Airlink. While on the island, the plane made a number of landings to test the plane under different conditions and approaches. Many of these took place on runway 20, which is known for its wind shear issues. According to South African business site businesslive.co.za, SHG called for South African carriers to begin a service by May this year. However, SAMS publication The Sentinel has learned this is not accurate. South African Airways was asked to tender for the service in December of last year. Airlink is allied with South African Airways and operates out of OR Tambo Airport in Johannesburg. The majority of their current routes are internal to South Africa. Additionally, St Helena government announced on Tuesday that the closing date to submit tenders for the air service has been extended. The new closing date is 12 noon on Monday, the 6th of February. According to SHG, the extension is to allow bidders additional time to complete the proposal and update them with the latest available information. SHG are hoping that they can stick to the original contracting date and are now working to recover the lost time. Sea rescue trainer Graham Harding returned to St Helena 4 weeks ago for the second time to further train the island sea rescue team. I joined Graham and some of the sea rescue team on board rescue boat Lima to find out how the training went. So Graham, it is nice to see you back on the island. How long have you been here this time and have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, thanks. I've been here for, it will be a total of 5 weeks at the end of this week before I go home on next Monday. And as usual, had a fantastic time on the island. Always great to be on the island, very friendly place, second best place in the world.
Right. So this is, as you said, the second time you've been on St Helena to train with the sea rescue team. Can you explain what the training was focused on this time?
Yeah, this time we sort of focused on a little bit further out, for if they have to go and get guys that are fishing on the banks. So it's a bit more long range, and then also VHF radio communications, and then just basically generally checking on their systems that they've got running over here, and checking that they're keeping the training up to date, and all the equipment is still in good nick.
Okay, so can you briefly describe some of the training, like what you would do within a day?
On a general day, basically we would come in and we could start off with doing some lectures on collision regulations, which is an international law which everybody that goes onto the sea has to know about it. Different lights that are seen at night, so when they venture out here at night, if they come across any ships, they can understand what the ship is by just looking at what the lights are. We do some practical stuff out on the boat, doing man overboard drills, fire on board, anchoring, veering down. There's a lot of different stuff that we do and that we cover as we go through the 5-week period.
Alright, so what kind of qualifications will the crew walk away with?
Well, after this course they will have a 40 nautical mile qualification, as well as a VHF radio operator's license.
Alright, sounds good. So do you think you will be back in the future?
Well, I'm hoping to get back here in the future, and at least once a year there should be an outside audit basically of the service. So even if it's not to make further qualifications, it's just to make sure that the training standard is staying very high and that the equipment is staying of very high quality.
So Simon, you are the Sea Rescue Manager, And can you tell me how the training has been for you in general? Was it nice having Graham back?
Yeah, it's been brilliant having Graham back, and again, hope to have him back in the future. For me, personally, you can never say you know everything, so I've learned a lot since Graham been here this time. I've a multiple dual job role, so your brain can't keep everything in, so some things I forgot, and so it is nice to have someone just to come in and just check to make sure that you don't forget the stuff and go over it again. As you know, one of the things, touch wood, we don't have a lot of incidents with maritime. Our maritime community is quite safe. Although, so we don't get that amount of calls to say we can get that experience from the call base. So that's where we filter in training. We try to keep it that way, but when the airport's open, we get more tourists and stuff like that. I can see our call rate going up. So yeah. So to answer your question, it's been brilliant having Graham back.
All right. So what are the next steps for the team now that they have had this training?
So the next steps will be just ongoing, just taking in what we learned, keep practicing what we learned. Obviously, Graham will be giving us a report showing where our gaps are, and then we'll hopefully address those gaps over the next year or so, and then we'll see about getting him back and see where we are then.
I also spoke to Sea Rescue team members Craig Sipu, Ben Dillon and Leroy Caswell to find out how they thought the training went.
Well, overall I felt it went well. There was some challenging stuff as the course went on, but with continuous training from Graham and persistence, I felt we achieved our objective at the end of it.
I feel it went quite well. Like Craig said, it was a bit challenging. A lot of new stuff in there, but I think everybody got through it quite well off it. And quite proud to say I stand it.
Like Craig said, it was challenging, but it's a lot of different things we had to cover. So for me, not used my brain properly in 20 years probably. So no, it was quite good. The practical parts was more or less what we know, but Graham drilled it more into our heads. And then the theory was just basically learning lights, shapes, like Graham said. So if anything happened out here, we know exactly what to expect. So yeah, it's been brilliant.
That sounds really good. So was there an exam at the end for you guys?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So how do you guys think you did?
Well, we actually know how we did. Graham told us our results, and we all got a pass mark, which we were really happy with. It was very stressful pulling up to that period, but yeah, it's like you say, it's a great achievement for us.
One of St Helena's most famous endemic creatures, the spiky yellow woodlouse, has now been discovered to have an unusual new feature. The invertebrate is now one of only 2 species of woodlice that glow under ultraviolet light. This was discovered by David Price of the National Trust, who had been told that finding the woodlice using UV light had worked for a previous manager. This was soon confirmed by Spiky Yellow Woodlouse project manager Amy Dutton, who went to a popular habitat to confirm the discovery. Currently, the cause of the fluorescence is unknown. The trait is most commonly found in scorpions, and even with them, it is unclear why. This discovery makes it far easier to survey the species. Where previously woodlice had to be counted by searching through ferns with the naked eye, now areas can be covered far more quickly and fewer woodlice are missed. Until the discovery, it was believed that there were as few as 50 spiky yellow woodlice left in existence. After conducting a few night surveys, it has been found that there is a much larger population than previously thought. Mostly, the woodlouse population is harmed by destruction of their habitat in the cloud forest, and it is believed that rats may be affecting these areas. The Spiky Yellow Woodlouse project is dedicated specifically to discovering more about these creatures in an attempt to aid conservation efforts. Norwegian heritage vessel SS Sorlandet, the world's oldest rigged ship in operation, arrived in James Bay on Thursday, the 26th of January 2017. The ship set sail from Kristiansand, Norway in August 2015 with 50 students from 20 different countries on board. The education-focused circumnavigation takes 2 years to complete. She and her students will have visited more than 44 cities in 22 countries, traveling over 50,000 nautical miles, before she completes her 2-year voyage. The ship is 64 meters in spar length and 34 meters tall, and weighs 499 tons. Today, the Foundation operates the A+ World Academy, which is a unique boarding school at sea, with an advanced placement, curriculum and exotic itinerary. The curriculum includes learning to sail a ship and intertidal environmental studies in the Amazon Delta. The school's mission is to be acclaimed by students, parents and educators as the very best global education program in the world. The SS Sorlandet departed James Bay on Sunday the 29th of January, bound for Ascension. Here now is your weekly sports roundup.
In cricket, Sandy Bay Pirates completed a successful run chase to defeat Levelwood Rebels in the weekend's opening fixture. Batting first, Rebels posted 167, thanks largely to innings of 56 from Brendan Leo and 31 not out from Dean Moyes. Darren Isaac took 3 wickets for 14 runs for Pirates. Rhys Francis led from the front and produced an innings of 60, which helped Pirates across the line. Captain Delroy Leo was Rebels' best bowler. He returned figures of 2 for 17 runs. On Saturday afternoon, Jamestown Barracudas put a dent in Mustangs' charge for Lake Glory. Andrew Young took 3 wickets for 8 runs as Barracudas bowled Mustangs for 83. Callum Alec was the top scorer for Mustangs, notching up 34 runs. Barracudas reached the required target with 9 wickets in hand. On Sunday morning, Lions picked up a comfortable victory against Zodiacs. Caden Crowey started with the ball, picking up 4 wickets for 14 runs as Lions bowled Zodiacs for 94. An unbeaten innings of 40 from Scott Crowey ensured Lions reached the required target and took all 3 points. The final match of the weekend was a nail-biter. Western Warriors were helped to a grand total of 246 after Geordie Henry struck 92 against St Paul's B. AJ Bennett began his man-of-the-match performance by taking 3 wickets for 34 runs. His form carried through to his batting, where he smashed a brutal 115. Mark Williams took up the baton and carried St Paul's to within 4 runs of the target, but St Paul's fell agonisingly short. Gavin Alec took 4 wickets for 26 runs and would have been relieved that Warriors came away with the win.
Well, that's it for another Newsbite. Be sure to tune in again next week, but remember you can stay up to date with all the latest news on SAMS Radio 1 and also in the Sentinel. I'm Roxanna Williams and thank you all for watching.